everyone, my name is Chloe and welcome to the start of another weekly vlog style wrap up or whatever you want to call this. So today is Wednesday and I have two things to tell you about. We have just had a crazy time. We had an unexpected death in the family, and then our house was not listed, but one of my friends is a real estate agent, and she was like, can we have somebody come look at your house? And I said no, and then they couldn't get it out of their mind, so they came and they made a really good offer. So we sold our house despite the fact that we have nowhere to go. So we have a long closing date, so we don't have to leave until July 19th. So here's to hoping we can finally find somewhere to live. Otherwise, I don't know what we'll be doing. I guess the four of us will be couch surfing or something. So that to say, my brain is really jumbled, and this week has been really jumbled and a lot going on and kind of stressful. So forgive me if I'm not as eloquent as I normally am, which is setting the bar pretty low. So I finished two things, and both were buddy reads, and both were fun. So the first one was Between Shades of Grey by Rita Pettis, and this is one I buddy read with Tara from Buzzword Books, and I'm giving it 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. So this book is about a young girl named Lena. She is taken with her family from Lithuania to Siberia during World War II, and this really showcases Stalin's role in World War II, and I feel like I kind of had an awareness of what he did and how terrible he was and just kind of all of that, but not much. And here, I didn't know anything about Lithuania and what was going on there. And so I loved it for that reason, because it educated me about something I didn't know about. And just the strength of this young girl was amazing. And they were taking people who were, educated and well off. And so for them to be taken from, I don't think they were the highest of the high, but for them to be taken from a very comfortable life to this life. And I thought it was so tense and harrowing and heartbreaking. And yet, between Shades of Grey, there's grace and there's kindness. There's very few people that were willing to show grace and kindness to others, but there were some glimpses of hope among this. So I really enjoyed it, and this counts for a chick-lit-a-thon for a female protagonist, a historical with a female protagonist, because she is a female protagonist. This also has the dad was taken separately, so it's a mom and her kids as well, and those stories are also so hard-hitting. And just hearing there's a mother who loses a baby, and there were so many times that I was my heart cannot handle this. And luckily I read this one before everything went down. Otherwise I think I probably would have had to set it down, because it is just very heavy and tense. And there were a couple things that I thought were going to amount to something, and they just didn't. And at first, when I first finished it, I was kind of disappointed by that. But then I thought about it more, and I was like, you know what? Because the tone of the book is very tense. And so, I kept expecting a shoe to drop. And when that shoe didn't drop, I was kind of, disappointed. But the more I think about it, the more I really respect her for not putting added drama and stuff into an experience that it was tense. It was terrible. It was heartbreaking. It was hard and miserable and inhumane. And there doesn't need to be extraneous situations going on. So I really respect that she just kind of let that tension be what it was. So you could really feel how stressful and scary and miserable and inhumane these people were treated. And so I really enjoyed it. My one complaint is I feel like the ending was pretty abrupt, and it just kind of epilogues with how everything wrapped up. And I really wanted to know how did we get there? But the book also has to end somewhere. So I don't know. I just wish it was a little bit slower of an ending, but that to say, I still really enjoyed it and can't wait to pick up more. So that was Tara and I's first successful buddy read. We have had a lot of flops, and so I'm really excited too about that. So then the next day I picked up The Girl Before by J.P. Delaney with Nicole from Girly Girl Bookworm. And so we read that one, and I just finished it today, and I'm giving it 3 stars. So this is about 2 women. It's told from 2 women's perspectives, and they both at separate times move into this smart house that is run by this kind of mastermind architect. And it is a smart house to the point that there's no light switches, nothing. It is all controlled by technology, and like there's extra light in the winter to prevent seasonal affective disorder. It studies your patterns and learns how to like adapt to you. And so, very, very smart house. Well, so we're told Emma is the then perspective and Jane is the now perspective. So the book is a thriller of them living in this house, interacting with this architect, because like the application process for this house is crazy. And you have to journal all these things, and there's like over 200 rules. You can't do you have to leave it spotless. Like there's all these things you have to do. And so the book is kind of just figuring out their connection amidst this weird tone. So the reason it wasn't great for me is because, first of all, like there were multiple points where I was like, I felt like I should have known what was like the context, and yet we never got that. We're just like thrown into it. And so like, for example, one of them is at work one time, and like they're talking about like, and like acting as though we should know what they do and like what the atmosphere is, and we don't. Like we're never told that or shown that, so that was not great. And then like, I don't know, again, I kind of felt like a lot of threads were started. So these women look very, very similar. I really disliked both of these characters, especially Emma. She was somebody who was seeking attention to the point of faking sexual assault, rape, illness. She created an eating disorder to get this attention. Like she just was really, really desperate for attention. And her and Jane look very, very, very similar. And so I thought there would be more of a connection there than there actually was. Like I really just wanted more out of this. And like I said, I don't feel like you have to like a character in every book, but this one, they were so gross that I was like, I kind of just want to skip to the end and know like what happens, but like not keep reading this to get there. And I didn't do that. I read the whole thing, and I like was intrigued to know what was going on, but then I felt like the twist was just kind of, or like the whodunit was like, okay, I mean, I don't know. I just really had very meh thoughts about this. Sorry, my phone rang, so it cut me off. But the only other thing that I like really want to say about this book is that I had a hard time believing. So one of the women is killed, and there's a murder happens in the house, and so I had a really hard time believing like that it was a mystery when you're in this smart house that is like so in tune with you. Like the house doesn't know what happened. Like somebody just randomly died, and like there's no cameras, there's nothing going on, and I don't know. I just didn't really love this book, and the ending was just okay. So 3 stars on that. Thank you to Nicole for buddy reading with me. So now I don't know what I'll start next, but I will check in whenever I finish it. Hey everyone, I'm gonna try to squeeze this in before anybody gets upset. We are outside. We had dance class today, and then one of my best friends is in town, and so we went over there earlier in the week, and then today they came over and played with us because it is beautiful. It's supposed to rain for like the next 7 days, but right now it's beautiful, so we're playing outside. But I finished The 9th Inning by J. Sterling, and this one I'll probably give like 3 stars. This one is a baseball romance, new adult, I guess, because they're college age. And so this one is the most like purely romance that I have read lately. Like the whole storyline, it's like a second chance romance because this couple was together kind of, but not like officially. They were more just like hookup buddies. And then he really wants to focus on getting drafted. So he kind of ended the relationship. They cut ties. And then they come back together, and so it's their relationship, the ups and downs, and then him also trying to balance like his desire to get drafted and his kind of baseball career. So, yeah, it was good. It was, I think if you are more into romance than I am, like straight romance, then you'll like this more. There's not a whole lot of depth. He was abandoned by his mom. Well, not abandoned by his mom. His mom left him and his dad. So, I mean, yeah, abandoned by his mom, but he has issues around women and trusting women and stuff. So there's that bit of depth. There's also like definitely consent issues and talks of like, roofies and that kind of stuff. So there's, definitely those trigger warnings, but that was that story. So, not the best thing I've ever read, but not the worst by any means. I actually enjoyed it. quite a bit. But so if you really like romance, like straight romance and a little more steam than I do, you will probably like this one. So, and it's the first in like a whole bunch of series. So because we get to know some of his teammates. So yeah, I finished that, and now we'll see what I pick up next. Hey everyone, happy Sunday. I am just getting on to let you know I finally finished Rosaline Palmer Takes the Cake by Alexis Hall. I've been reading this for a few days, and for me that is kind of a long time. I've never been one like to put out the big disclaimer of like my reading and my anything I comment about my reading speed, anything like that is all just based on me. It's comparative to what I used to do or to my standard. It is not to say that you should be reading any certain amount of books a month, a week, a whatever. Like that disclaimer, I feel like doesn't need to be said, but maybe it does, that if I'm saying I'm reading slower, that's just compared to myself and compared to the standard that I want or have had for myself or whatever. It is not to say that any certain number of books is good or bad or successful or not. It's just my own comparison. So for me to take as long as I did to read that book is a long time, but I enjoyed it, I guess. I don't know. It was very messed. So the premise of this book sounded perfect to me. So this is about a single mom named Rosaline. She wanted to be like a doctor in the medical field, and then she got pregnant. And so she had to kind of put her career goals on hold to raise her daughter. So now her daughter, I can't remember how old she is, but somewhere 8, 11, somewhere like that. I don't know. And Rosaline works in a stationery shop and just doesn't have a whole lot of extra income. So she goes on this cooking show that's very much like the Great British Baking Show. And she goes on this show to try to win some more money for her family. So love that. Love that. Those shows are great. I love them, and I just was so into that. And I love single parent stories. Like, I just thought I would love this. She meets this guy on her way there because she misses the bus, and they have a really cute meet cute. He's another one of the contestants, and he is like this guy that on paper is perfect. Like her parents approve everything. Like, he's just kind of what she should have. And so then there's that, but then he's maybe not all he cracked up to be. And there's this other contestant named Harry, who is this big dude. He's an electrician, not at all like what she would expect her guy to be. And yet he is so sweet and such a cinnamon roll. So it's kind of a love triangle between them. And it's her on this baking show, and it talks a lot. She is bisexual, and she is good friends with this woman who broke up with her and when they were young. And then she went and slept with this guy because the girlfriend broke up with her, and thus results the daughter. So that probably doesn't make any sense. But she's got a good female friend that they used to date, and her friend takes care of her daughter a lot while she's doing these baking shows and stuff. And I loved all the queer rep, and just like the little girl is so like it's so normal for her, and I love seeing that. And I love seeing that like that conversation had the little girl has to kind of advocate for her mom and be like, why are you guys being weird about this like sexuality conversation? And I really liked hearing that. And there's some really strong parts in this book. There's definitely some trigger warnings, though, for like queer phobia and that kind of stuff, because there's definitely some negative things that come with that. But overall, this book was a 3-star for me because for one, it's like 450 pages. And for me, a contemporary romance being that long is hard. And you guys, I just could not connect. Like, I loved Harry, our cinnamon roll hero. I loved the premise, and I loved the meet cute between her and Elaine, I think was how you say his name. I'm not really sure, but the other guy. I loved those elements, but I just, like, one, Alexis Hall does not waste any time on description of setting or anything like that. So I felt like it was kind of hard to, like, grasp, like, feel like you were there, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And so that was hard. And then there just wasn't, like, I didn't feel the connection between the characters at all. Maybe a little bit Harry and Rosaline, but like I just really struggled to feel the connection between the characters and feel what I wanted to feel about them. So overall, to say it was about 3 stars. I kind of just felt meh about it. I have not read any of Alexis Hall's other work, so maybe I'll like it better, or maybe that's just his writing style. I don't really know. So I can't really say if you liked the boyfriend material that you'll like this one, or vice versa. I'm not sure. So, yeah, I don't know. Just okay on that one. So, that is everything I've read this week. It's kind of been a whirlwind of a week. A lot of crazy things have happened, good, bad, up, down. We're tired. We are having a week of storms, which my children don't sleep through. So, we're all running on very little sleep. But today is my birthday, so I'm hoping, I think my parents are going to come by this evening and bring some dinner, so that's great. Ainsley is at gymnastics right now with Jeremy, and Annie is not napping, so she went with them, so I'm alone for a little bit. So it's kind of weird to be excited to be alone on your birthday, but it is just a nice little half hour of quiet. So I'm going to go read something else, and I'll see you next week.